Previously on Dark and Twisted. Suddenly, there was a knock at my door. It was the police. One of your neighbors called, reporting a scream coming from here an hour ago. "Are you okay, sir?" they asked suspiciously. They immediately drew their guns as soon as they saw the gruesome contents on the floor. It was her decapitated head. When I arrived, I heard the most depressing news. Mary had been let go because they had no evidence. And there was more. She had an alibi. He even showed me the surveillance and said that there was no way that Mary killed Sam. But I wasn't buying it, not for one goddamn second. The whole drive back home, I was in a daze. It felt as if the car behind me was Mary following me. Then the car started gaining speed on me. Then it hit the back of my bumper. Before I knew it, I was in a ditch. Someone had broken in. And the worst part was, Samantha's dog Gio was dead. He was just lying there on the floor, lifeless and as stiff as stone. His eyes rolled back in his head and blood oozing from his mouth. Suddenly, the lights went out and there was a crash. Someone had thrown a rock through the window with a note attached to it. "My girlfriend wants to kill me." Part 4. As I approached the stone that lay there in the chair, chills began to creep up and down my spine. "I killed your dog. You're next." A burning anger started to set in. My teeth began to grind. My rage started to rise. My fist started to clench, so much to the point I could hear my bones in my hands cracking. That evil woman needed to pay for killing my Samantha, that cashier, and now Gio. If those goddamn cops wasn't going to do something about Mary, I will, I said to myself in anger and frustration. It was time to take the law into my own hands. And in my own hands, I did just that. I had to protect myself, my Uncle James, and anyone else she was a threat to. I told my Uncle James that I thought it would be best if I would leave for a little while, at least until Crazy Mary was caught, but he was against it. He said that he would leave instead. Then he said he had to run some errands and would be back in a little while. He asked if he could drive my car since his was still in the shop. I tossed my keys to him, then out the door he went. 6 hours had passed and he was still gone. I was starting to worry. I called the cops to tell them that he was missing, but they said it had only been 6 hours and thought I was just being paranoid. They said I had to wait at least 48 hours before filing a missing persons report. So I hopped in my car and went searching for him. After driving around for about an hour, there my car was, parked by the lake. When I approached it, the engine was still running, but there was no sign of him anywhere. Panic started to set in. I grabbed my flashlight and went searching through my car to see if there was any sign of foul play. I found nothing. Then I heard a faint sound of a cell phone ringing from somewhere. I had discovered it was coming from the trunk. Tears started to flood my eyes, and flooding my thoughts were visions of his cold, lifeless, rotting corpse lying bloody in the trunk of my car. I was preparing for the worst. I could hear my heart thumping in my chest frantically, and it felt as if everything was in slow motion. Then I slowly opened the trunk. There it was, a cell phone lying there. I was relieved that it wasn't his corpse. Then who was calling? I said to myself. Do I dare even answer it? Hello, I said nervously. He's not dead. Well, not yet anyway, but you will be in a matter of seconds, said the voice of Mary, followed by her nasally, evil giggle. I dropped the cell phone on the ground as every inch of my body began to shake violently. Then out of nowhere came a truck speeding towards me at full speed as I saw my life flash before my very eyes. I jumped out of the way right in the nick of time as the truck crashed into my car, causing it to burst into flames. Two figures exited the car and started walking toward me. I ran into the forest nearby to hide from them. I tried to use my cell phone, but there was no reception. I just knew I was going to die at that moment. Then all of a sudden, shots fired at me. I fell to the ground in pain. I had been hit. To be continued.